Okay, exciting times ahead. I am declaring Wits End, my boxfile model railway, complete, virtually almost. There's always going to be one or two things I need to do to it. So what I'll do, a quick overview of the layout itself, and then we'll explain what we've done over the course of the last sort of 7 or 8 months. Okay, nothing fancy. The layout is built in standard office box files, as you can see here. Nothing fancy. They are literally just cheap box files, around about £3-4 a piece from B&M or Home Bargains or wherever it may be. So we'll start off at the beginning. The first two that I built as we cruise down is the silo section, which is a kit from Walthers that I kind of liked. I've seen a few knocking about the place, Lincoln, Gainsborough, Louth, that kind of stuff, and I made them fit. This was my focal point. I couldn't decide on a track plan, what could fit in the boxes, but I made this work. So this one here and the station section have both been to exhibitions, but I've been wanting to extend it for quite a while, so we've managed to do that with another 3 boxes, as you guys have probably seen on the internet or YouTube or Facebook, wherever it may be. So what we'll do now, we'll run the train down, follow its progress, and then I'll talk a bit more about the boxes. So we'll set the art. This is a Minitrix Ivert. If it works, we'll set it going. Oh, so beg your pardon. It's the 121 DMU we've got going. So I'll follow that down. And then into the fiddle yard. So, what's in each box? In the first box, which was the first one I started on, we have a grain silo. We have a loading dock, you can see here. So, grain wagons, let me just drag this forward a bit for you so you can see what we brought in. Grain wagons. They will be brought in either empty or loaded to either be offloaded or loaded in that shed there, which is fed from this this big building here through the pipe into a loading dock out into the wagon. The silos would hold the product, which will be put in by lorry into the shed at the back. Okay, so we have a fork truck down here and some guys discussing whether they're going to actually do any work today or not. We don't really know. We'll find out at some stage. A few moo cows, because it is an arable area. So we have to put a few cows in there as well. So on to the next section, which is the station part. Obviously, we have to get the workers to the silo to work. So we need a station. It's very small. It holds 1 coach and a very small loco. Anything bigger than that, and it fouls the point on this side. Some kind person on the internet said I needed a head shunt for the silo, which is here. So in essence, I can run a train from the station out, or I can basically move freight from siding to siding into the head shunt and back into the siding and move as necessary. It gives you quite a lot of shunting opportunities, because bearing in mind that each wagon that turns up would have to be loaded or unloaded, and you would have to get it into this shed here in sequence. So there's probably 30, 40, 50 moves you can make easily using the 3 sidings here and the head shunt, and on occasions this track here that runs out to the station section. Now, Farmer Bob, nice house. He's got some pigs in the backyard. On occasions he invites his mates round with their nice traction. So we've got an old bus, a pick for his wagon. I remember picked from years ago. Another old bus, I think that's American, the car and caravan. Moggy Minor van, Mark II Cortina, another Moggy Minor, 2 or 3 motorcycle and sidecars. I think that may be a Fordson with a baler, not really sure. Get hungry, get a burger, get an ice cream, and this thing here obviously is a traction engine with a living van. Now, did you spot the one that's on the layout that some people don't even see? Look at the back of the silo. There's one hiding down there. It's a bit dark. It's a bit derelict. But these two here are thinking about buying it to obviously resurrect it to put it on the show circuit. We'll see how they get on. Hopefully, best of luck. So, through the station section, into the addition boxes. I wanted the next one to be purely scenic, so that's all we've got. Essentially, just a scenic section that runs from the station through there, through a bit of track, some countryside, and into the next box. Nothing fancy. Bit of a remnant of the old times there, as you can probably see. Old telegraph pole. And then we've got some kind of farmer dude down here with a really badly painted collie dog, trying to keep control of the sheep. Doesn't always happen though, because we've got one sat up here being a bit stubborn, but then again, animals are stubborn or can be stubborn. So we roll out of that box into what I'm deeming as a scrapyard section. So as you can see, we come through into a left-hand point. Bearing in mind that all these track and points are Pico first radius set track, so nothing flexible about it, apart from the bit on the old fiddle yard, which is flexible track, but everything else is basically set track. It just makes it easier to sort of design what you want to do. So we can either come straight through out into the next box, or if something's a bit poorly, a bit dead, end of its life, we can roll it into the scrapyard. The main reception side in here, with a bit of a, I think they call them shear legs, I'm sure they do. So you can offload wagons for scrap, put them to one side. We have varying different things that can cart them off. We have to visualise that this entrance or exit here goes to a bigger yard. That's the whole purpose of visualisation. You imagine things in your head to be bigger than they actually are. So compress it all down, make it fit. Here we've got a real old school Scamrel Scarab, which is still doing its work. Doesn't look in bad nick. Could be a bit rusty, but I kind of like it as it is. In the yard itself, we have a crane, which is a Minitrix crane off a wagon. So it can be turned around the layout. I've done this in such a way that it can be removed and put onto the wagon. But I think it looks kind of cool in the scrapyard, to be fair. And at the back of that, we've got some real scrappy, you see that? Old 9F. This was another Minitrix locomotive that I bought a long time ago, advertised as running. It did for 10 or 15 minutes, and then decided to pack up big style. So it's a source of spares and a source of interest. A lot of horrible paint thrown at it, and it looks really scrap. Biggest part was drilling out the front, which obviously is a smoke box door. That was an absolute nightmare. That plastic was about 6mm thick, but Dremel type thing, and we got through it all. Bit of detritus in the scrapyard, as you can see. We've got bits thrown about the place, a few wheels here and there, some more scrap, big pile of push bikes. And obviously the signals are upper quadrant, home signals. I didn't want to go fancy. They don't work, they are literally just fastened in position. Scenery's quite nice. I kind of like the scenery. We had a few horses missing, or this was a bit dead, this area. And I thought about, what's missing, and we came up with horses. Again, bought from on the internet somewhere. They just add a little bit of interest to the scene itself. So there we can go. We've come out of that box. I tend to sometimes use dustbin liners between boxes. Then it gains you the impression of a deeper, darker tunnel, when in reality it isn't. It is literally just that. But I don't know, I kind of like it. I've not done it to this one so far, but it can be added afterwards. They're just literally just a bin liner cut up into strips, and then basically just gaffer tape to the back of the box. So into the next box we go, which is our fueling point. I kind of like this one. This is kind of cool. I had no idea how this was going to look. Threw all sorts of ideas about, couldn't come up with a plan. Just basically grabbed a couple of points, put them in the box, threw them down, and came up with that design. It's nothing fancy. It is literally just, you want fuel from that end, you come in, you stop here somewhere, you're back in. Simple, nothing fancy. So what we've got here is, again, Pico set trap points, wiring tube, dead simple to control, all good. A fueling point which was a Graham Farish Scenecraft, I think it was. Quite expensive, and it was twice that length, but I've chopped it up to fit. You can see we've got pumps in there, warning signs, wire, pipes, that kind of stuff, and a couple of guys there, one controlling the traffic in and out, and one lazy sod there sat on his arse doing absolutely nothing. But then again, people do. On coming into the yard, that's where we are. We have a scanner there dropping the fuel off into the bulk fuel point. I need to get some pipes, I think, from that nozzle there. Literally just drop it into the ground so they can be connected to whatever. Got some chaps there working on that point at the back, and the mechanism there obviously a bit sticky, a bit stiff, so them guys are there to try and sort it all out, and hopefully get it done. Scanning T-cab with a bulker, well, it's a bulk tipper actually, getting ready to drop some coal off, loading shovel there, sat to one side, ready to receive the coal, and the fueling point boss man's car parked up next to his garage. I've tried to add as much realism as I can, scenery wise. I like the backgrounds. It's a sort of railway that would have been in the middle of nowhere at some stage, but obviously time progresses, things change over time, so we're now in the middle of an industrial estate. You can see we've got these big warehouses which sort of carry the theme on throughout the layout. I've tried to make them blend in with the backgrounds as much as I possibly can. I don't think it looks that bad. I'm quite happy with it. There's always room for improvement, but again, you can only do what you can do with what you've got. So we'll just keep trying. Anyway, from the fuel point, most exciting part of all, which everybody seems to look at, never mind how good your layout is, they will always try and peer at your fiddly yard. So here it is in all its glory. Yes, 3 tracks. That's all it is. Nothing fancy. Hand controlled, short radius points. That's for the, basically it normally has that either the 121 bubble car or the Giro rail car in it, but if on a longer train like a loco and 2 wagons, it goes in that track there. So you have to work out, in your head, what you're trying to take out through the layout against what you're trying to bring in from the end into the fiddle yard. What you don't want to do is bring something in that is clearly not going to fit. Otherwise, you end up with something poking at the end of the tunnel. So what I'll do now, I'll switch it over to hopefully the rail car, and then we'll do a run through, if I can grab hold of the controller. There we go, rail car's on its way. Let's follow its progress. Maybe a bit quick that. There we go, saving the station. And what I'll do now, if I can reach it, I'll change the point here, which again, as I said before, is purely wire and tube. And in theory, the ivot should start moving to get that out into the fiddle yard. This is Minitrix, and it's a lovely runner. And there we have it. Wits End's extension process completed. A few things to do at the back of the layout, but overall I'm quite happy with the way that's panned out. Its exhibition, or its first exhibition in this state, is in February in Lincoln at Fiskerton. Go visit the Facebook page of the Lincoln Model Rower Society and you'll see that advertised. So if you get a chance, come and visit. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. Thanks very much for watching this video, and we'll catch you with hopefully the next update, and we'll see where we go from here. Thank you.